Welcome back.
Welcome
Welcome back to
back.
Basic Bounty for Witches.
Woo, woo,
You guys made
woo.
it another week. We
You
are
did it.
so happy.
We're pumped.
We we love this. We love doing these episodes. We always look forward to doing them every single week, especially when we have very special
I
guests.
know. And a new guest at
Oh, so
that. This is
yes, we
like,
have this beautiful woman who I was just mentioning before that I just kept coming across her profile on my own account and as well as Basic Banters. And I was like, I just need to get to know this girl so much more. So we are very, very blessed that we got her to come onto our podcast today.
welcome, Abby with Absolutely Abby.
Thank
Woo!
you. So excited to chat
Oh
with
my
you.
gosh. Oh, we're so happy you are here. Thank you so much again for
Yeah.
spending time with us today. I'll probably have to mute myself quite a bit because Harrison is also very excited in the background,
Very excited.
talking and screaming up a storm. So
It's all good. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for like going out of your comfort zone and joining us. I know that like there was no like direct correlation between our kind of worlds, but as Brittany was saying, like when there's some like something that draws you to somebody, like you just have to like we talk a lot about soul family and like when things are supposed to happen at the right time, right? And I know that you were the sick. We had to reschedule because you were sick the last time. It was were you sick?
or was
Yeah,
it we
but it was.
I feel like I was sick at one point too.
I don't even
Yeah.
know.
I
I feel like
don't know. I still have a bit of a cold now. But yeah.
That's the thing, timing just wasn't right, and timing will be right, and it will work out when it's supposed to.
Exactly. So I think it all happens for a
amazing.
reason. Yeah, very happy to have you. So I guess would you mind kind of sharing with us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I mean, what do I say? I guess I wanted to ask, because you don't think that there's a correlation between what we do? I feel like there is.
Oh, there is. Oh, definitely. I just think that our worlds haven't collided yet. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely a correlation, girl. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, sorry, my misspoke there. But yeah, no. It's
okay.
Just due to like our location is the biggest thing. Like we're in Canada and like in the plains as well, like very, over here. And I'm sorry, are you in Minnesota?
Massachusetts.
Oh my God, no, I'm in Massachusetts.
I'm so sorry. I was like, I knew it was an M, but I was like, oh, I should have remembered that. I'm so sorry.
Minnesota.
Massachusetts.
I know.
Minnesota. Oh, you're from Minnesota, eh? No, oh, that's so
God.
I'm so sorry. That's so bad.
That's like asking someone in Canada, oh, you know someone from Toronto? You know my cousin Brian?
Like, no, I don't. Like, I have no idea. This is good. Sorry, guys. We're starting off on the right foot here. Oh, that's fantastic.
That's okay.
So are you like born and raised in Massachusetts?
I am, yeah. So I'm born and raised in Massachusetts. Yeah. My whole life I've been here and I love it.
That's so
even
awesome.
when it's freezing cold outside.
Yeah, I get that. We're in the same like boat of cold. I mean, I'm not right now.
Well, your cold would be very similar to our cold.
I would say
because of where you are located with Canada, aren't you?
Maybe might be a little colder up where you are.
Fair enough.
I don't even know. Yeah. But your coast you're closer to the coast though, aren't you? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
We're like so loud. It's literally like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
We're landlocked real bad. We're like, there's nothing. We're like so far inland that I'm like, I don't know. But there's difference there. That's so cool. So I guess I'm sorry. I have my phone plugged in for like internet access, but bear with me. My internet sucks. Did I still freeze? Am I still frozen?
You're better now, but it was a jumbled mess for like a hot second there.
I'm sorry. I literally, internet and me has been a constant of things in my life anyways, but I'll try to be slower. Maybe that's it.
So we know where she's from now, and because we are very open about how we are not
geographically inclined
experts. Yeah. So anyways, from where you have grown up and you live now, what can you tell us about your metaphysical journey? Is it something that you kind of in like the last 10 years have discovered? Have you known all your life how connected you are? What can you kind of tell our followers what you do? Like you do readings, as far as I was able to kind of creep on your I didn't want to give too much because I still wanted to like leave some for
Literally.
the episodes. I'm like, oh, I can't look at everything, but I want to.
I want to. I know it's like a peak, and that's it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So I grew up Christian. So I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And so I don't like disregard that as not, because I think a lot of people don't think that that counts as spirituality. I think a lot of times but you learn there's a lot of similarities. I think that they're just teaching it in a different way.
You're right.
And so I had an awakening, a spiritual awakening, back in, I want to say 2021 or 2020, like during the pandemic. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
Mm.
But before that, I'd been Adventist, Seventh-day Adventist my whole life. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
How does, like, in terms of your, awakening here, how do your family feel about that?
They think I speak to demons.
Oh no.
No, no, it's funny. Like, I don't judge them about it because I used to be the same way. And actually, when I had an awakening, I was still very, like, my spirit guides would come and visit me, or they'd send me little signs, and I was very afraid of them. So
Yeah.
I remember meditating once, and I asked them to come visit me. And so I'm clairaudient. I exercise all the clairs, but that one is my strongest. And
Yeah.
I receive messages, clairaudiently. And I remember I asked them to stop by in the night. I don't know why I did that. And they stopped by, and I woke up in the middle of the night and my ear started ringing, and I was freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, no, only my, angels and my guides. Like, I don't want anything else coming. And they were like, yeah, no, it's us. It's us. And I was like, go away. Go away. Leave me alone. Yeah, it took me a while to overcome it. And when I moved into my house, I had a freaking ghost here.
No way.
Yeah, so that made it worse
Yeah.
because he was actually trying to scare us.
No. What would
Yeah.
you do?
Oh yeah, he was just being mischievous. So when we moved in, this is when I was still in the church, by the way. So imagine how scary that must have been.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember one day I was by myself. We had just moved in, and I heard banging. It sounded like a person was in the basement banging, like classic 3 times. And I called my husband, and he was at the gym. I was by myself, and I was like, oh my God, someone's here. I just heard banging downstairs. It sounded like a person did that. We've never heard banging before that. Then he would flick my husband, like flick him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No way.
Oh
Anywhere
yeah.
in particular, like his neck or his arms, or he would just
His
like
ear, his nose, in the face.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How invasive. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
How
Shaking.
rude.
When I was sleeping, he'd shake my bed.
No, nope, that'd be it for me. I think I just
I know, right? Everyone does that. Yeah. Shake my bed, tap my shoulder when I'm sleeping, woke me up, tapping my shoulder. Yeah.
Wow.
And then one day I started, at the beginning of my journey, at the beginning of the awakening, I just started kind of exercising my psychic abilities a little more and opening up. And I asked, my spirit guides, I said, who is doing this? Because my dad passed away. So there's no way it's my dad, because he's scaring us, right? He's turning off our fan, turning off our radio, our laptops would just drain, the battery would just drain. Just spooky stuff. And then I asked who it was, and I got the name Bill, right?
Bill.
And yeah, Bill. And I was like, that must be the person that used to live here. And there was a man that lived here with his wife for 30 years or more. He died in his 90s, and his name was William.
Oh, really? Well.
And then I saw a psychic, that a friend of mine, and I asked her about it. And I said, there's someone in my house. I don't think it's my dad. And she's like, no, it's not. It's the guy that used to live there. And he does it because he thinks it's funny to scare you guys. But he's not bad.
Oh,
he's just
mischievous. And you're just like,
yeah.
can you just
Yeah.
He was just having fun with us, because we would freak out. Not always. I mean, sometimes we would just be like, oh my God, whatever. But yeah, but he just thought it was funny to scare us. And he hasn't done anything in a while, but whenever I talk about him, he likes to make himself known. So he might do something after this. I'm gonna be
Oh,
about
geez. You'll
that.
have to let us know. You'll have to let us know if he does make an appearance in the next like day or two, because
Exactly.
I'll give him some energy to.
I was gonna
know.
say, I'm like, Bill, don't even.
I know, I say that all the time. Don't you dare. And I'll say to the house.
Yeah, right? Like, I
That's amazing.
threaten him with sage, be like, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you want to
But
leave? We're
it
gonna
is
get
nice. Yeah, it's nice that you have like a name for the spirit as well. Do you know what I mean? So it does make it like, it takes the fear out of it. It's like, okay, like at least I find comfort in that. Like you know, as somebody who like is, you know, with spirit as well. So it's like, okay, like to me, it's okay, but not for everybody.
Yeah. No, I think putting a name to it, because at first, you know, he wanted me to believe that he was my family member because he wants to hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's so I wonder why he doesn't want to cross over.
I don't know that he hasn't. You know what I mean? I think I don't know. I think sometimes spirits, they come back and they visit and they just want to mess around.
Yeah, they just come for fun. I believe the same. I think it's like you know, one thing or another. I think they choose. I guess we'll find out one day, I suppose. But so during, I guess, you know, at the point of your awakening, was there like a certain like moment or like a pivotal thing that had happened that kind of propelled this into action for you?
That's a really good question. It was it was a series of moments.
Okay.
So it was leading up to that moment. So I remember in 2020, we hadn't gone to church for a while. And I was like, you know what, I want to go. It was during the pandemic. So everyone's wearing masks and a lot of people were just doing the online church thing. And I really wanted to go. And I sat in the back of the church and I remember feeling this overwhelming feeling that it wasn't for me anymore.
Wow.
And I couldn't shake it. And I was talking to a friend of ours, you know, after church, and I was telling him, I'm like, I just can't, it's just not for me. And there are a lot of different reasons, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of their beliefs are based in fear. It just wasn't sitting right with me. And I've been opening myself up to certain documentaries. And the more I opened myself up, the more I questioned, you know, what the truth was. And I read this book called I Am, I Create. And because before that, I was opening up. And then I remember very clearly, I was in the kitchen one day and in my head, I said, because, you know, you send messages to God, spirit, whatever. And I sent a thought and I said, what is the truth? Because at this point, I'm ready to just go ahead and take my chances with hell. because I was like, I'm not going to worship a God that's like mean, you know, because I felt like God was mean. You know what I mean? And then I started to get downloads and I started to think, wait a minute, everything is God. I think everything is God. I'm not sure, but I think everything is God. And then I read that book. The next day I downloaded that book. And that's when I learned that I was right. Everything is God. I don't know what your belief system is, but that was what triggered my awakening.
It resonates. It really does. Yeah, it really does resonate. Yeah.
And I remember just being on the couch after reading that book and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? Like what is this new, like everything that I thought that I knew before, you know, who I was, what God was, what we were, just shattered, right? That's not my truth anymore. So now I had this new truth and it was accepting that, and that was very overwhelming. So it was, to answer your question, there was just a series of moments that led to that bigger moment of just of that realization. And then right around that time is when my spirit guides were showing up, my ears were ringing, and they would show up even, you know, I don't know if this ever happened to you before, but when you're falling asleep, you can hear them sometimes. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before.
I'm still dealing with my like ego getting in my way on a lot of like the listening and that. I'm sure I'm totally in my own way with it, where I like question it way too much. So I'm like, yes, I probably do, but do I? I don't know. Did I just lie? You know? So, you know, I'm going through some things.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I get it.
But I think all the Claires are so amazing. I don't feel like I have been able to spend enough time and energy trying to open up all of them to feel strong in all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I first think of clairaudient, I feel scared. I feel like I would be nervous to hear anything because I I don't know how I would react, to being completely honest. I don't think I'd be calm. I'd be like, "What? Burn the house down. We're moving." I can't do that.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm totally okay with, like, if someone's talking to me and if something pops into my head, whether it's a picture or a word or whatever,
they're
I have
cognizant,
no problem.
just knowing. Yeah. I feel
But
like that's
apparently hearing
yeah.
is just too much for me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I was actually just like reassessing my clairs because I do it like I've had more like oh God, what's the smelling one again, Brittany? I don't remember.
Claire Gustins, I believe.
Yeah, Augustin's, yes.
Oh, sorry, it's Claire Aliens.
Okay, yeah. So I have a little bit of that, which it sounds strange to say, but then I also get like clear cognizance where it's just like what, especially when I'm doing my readings, I'm like, I don't know why I know that. I don't know why I needed to say that, but it was just like, blah, you know, but like otherwise everything else I question. I used to be able to see certain things. And again, now I've kind of like, I don't know. I need, I need to like find a good rhythm with it again. Do you know what I mean? I need to trust the process. I think I'm like, that's just me and my journey anyways, but like continuously growing.
I would recommend practicing, practicing. And then that way you have, they know how much you can handle. So they'll show you, they'll show you little moments and then they'll stop. They'll stop. There are times where I'm practicing for an hour or two and I don't get anything. I'll get maybe like one or two things will come up and then that's it. That's all they'll give me because they know that, what I can handle. And I just trust that. And I trust it.
So when you're practicing, sorry, this is like all over the place, but when you're practicing, like, are you in meditative state? Are you just like sitting with a notebook? Are you just like, you know what I mean? Like open but protected to and ask questions aloud internally? Like, what does that look like for you?
I'm asking questions internally and then I'm allowing myself to be in a very relaxed state.
Okay. Yeah.
And I try to focus, I guess it is a meditative state. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. I'll just try to focus on one sound or one feeling on my hands. And by focusing on that, I'm just turning off all the noise. And those are the moments that I'll see an image or I'll think a name or a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of come in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, but it takes practice. It takes practice and the more you practice, the more you'll recognize the feeling you get. So let's say you're just driving, you don't know when you're going to those states. So a lot of times it happens when you're driving or listening to music or something like that, right? You'll, when spirit stops by and drops a thought, you're like, oh, I recognize that thought. It's a feeling that you have, but you learn to recognize it because you've been practicing.
It's like a thought in different font kind of thing. Like
literally. Yeah. No, that's the best way to describe it. It just feels different. It's just feeling. At least for me, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I think that's so good. And I know I'm not like the only person going through this kind of growth process of like building on gifts. Like I think it's something that like, nobody's ever done growing, but the more we battle with ego and this and that, whatever happens, it's like the questioning of life. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. Thank you for letting me pick your brain.
So with you, so you do readings currently and you do readings for people, or is it mainly just for yourself, just kind of for your own knowing?
So I do readings for people. I also do spiritual mentoring. So
Yeah.
the conversations that we're having now, that's what I'll have with a mentee, a client. I'll just, they'll have questions and I just share what I know in my experiences. And, a lot of times people will come to me and say, I'm afraid of spirit. And because I've been there, I can say, there's nothing to be afraid of. Or they'll say, I'm not trying to scare your audience, but they'll say, well, what's a demon? I know, they're like,
but we're open to it. Yes.
Okay.
Tell us everything.
Yeah, they'll ask, what's a demon? Or because there's a, in the Christian belief, some Christian beliefs, all spirits are demons, right? Like anything that's talking to a psychic, they see that as, something evil. Or they don't know how to distinguish when it's a good spirit and a not so good spirit, right? And so I'll just help them overcome that fear. And I'll just kind of talk them through what the differences are and vibrations and how that all works.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Now, in your kind of mentorship process here, do you find that there's like, is fear the most common purpose for people to be there, or is fear typically? Interesting. Okay, cool.
I think so.
Or
They
like,
always come.
Okay. Understanding, I suppose, is probably another way to see it.
Yeah, a part of it is understanding. Sometimes they want to learn how to recognize signs. But the main thing is fear. That's the main thing. The main thing is fear. With the readings, I do readings for people, but my readings always feel like mentorship to me, because when my spirit guides, what I do is I meditate and I ask to connect with the person's spirit guides.
Yeah.
And my cards are like chakra cards. I have psychic reading cards. I have different type of oracle cards. I like to use them all because sometimes someone will come and say, oh, I want to connect. I want to be more creative. And the card will say, well, you need to work on this chakra for that. Or sometimes they'll come in. I've had a couple of people come in and say, I'm having issue finding love. And then spirit will show me that there's a connection to their mom that they need to heal. And so they need to work on healing their heart chakra and the issues that they're having with their mother in order for them to attract a partner.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder if like only because it's like, again, everything that you're saying is like really resonating. Do you channel like through your throat chakra? Like, because whenever I channel, I like my readings, I'm like, it always comes out, not like a lecture, but like that's how the spirit guides kind of communicate, is just like da 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 da, da. I'm like, I'm sorry, like it comes out that way, but it's like because you need to hear it, right? Which it sounds like the guidance, like you're so willing and able to give it. You've got a direct line. I love that. It's nice to see it.
I think I do. Thank you. I think I do channel through my throat chakra. It's interesting because so like I mentioned before, clairaudience is like my strongest clair, aside from clairsentient. Those are my two strongest, but clairaudience is number one. And I'm a 3 life path, and I was born on the 12th. So those are all connected to communication. And communication is the throat chakra. It's connected to the throat chakra. So to answer your question,
I was gonna say, like, this sounds very familiar. I get this.
And the throat chakra is also connected to clairaudience. So
that makes sense then. Okay, no, I love that.
But
That's
I wonder,
so great.
Jessica, if that's something that you should focus more into, because
I should. I actually
more Claire too.
I don't know if what other areas you're interested in, Abby, but like I just had my palm readings done by Molly, who we had on the podcast. Was it earlier this year or last year? I don't remember.
The telltale hand.
Yes, telltale hand. And she did my palm reading, and she's like, we were talking about, like, the spiritual side of me, and like I have like, it's like really hardy, but there's a blockage. And I'm like, because it feels like that. I'm like, I feel like there's like a hump in something that I just cannot get over, or like I'm interested and so like I'm driven, but there's just like I'm missing a key to something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Is there a part of you that feels like it's that you kind of still don't believe, or you feel like it's fake, or you're worried that people will think, like, because that's another thing that people have, worry what people will think about?
Yeah, I would say like I believe, I definitely do. I've like come, like, I feel like in like this spiritual journey of mine, like I'm really comfortable with everything, with all the aspects of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know, you know, the beginning, the middle, and the end is like, it has to happen. And, you know, and that's how I feel anyways. But obviously I think I have a lot going on in my personal life, I feel like, but I do think that like I've always been concerned about what people think of me, not like as severe, but I think I'll always be, or like that's like one of my faults is like, oh, but maybe, but although I've been good, not good, I've grown so much since like in the last 6 years, I think, like when I got married and we had our kids, and it was just like, you know, there's no going back after certain things, right? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm hesitant to do everything because I just don't know. I just don't know if like, if now's the time to do it. And I know that like, but it feels like it should be, I don't know. Does that make any sense? Am I just like blurting at you guys? My two therapists with me? Like,
All
oh
I can
God,
hear
that's
is
why I
fear,
chose the
guys. All I
couch.
can hear is fear.
That's all I know. Like, that's why I chose the couch to like, okay. Ah, help. Yeah.
When you say do it though, you're meaning what by that?
Well, I
When you
guess
say-
like so in my like spiritual capacity right now, like I do card readings and I like, you know, I do them around like where I live. I'm in Ireland. I don't know if you knew that, Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so it's like a new community to me. Again, it's like old community, very set in like the Catholic faith. And although there's an awakening happening, there's more coming about, but it's still quite hush hush and like public. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like something that I can wear on my chest kind of thing, even though I do, like, I don't fucking care, but like, I don't care, but I do because it's still like, I think because it's more than just me, right? It's me and my family, right? It's not, I don't know. Like, I couldn't put it down to like one thing I'm worried about. It's like, I'm hesitant about a few things, right? But yeah, so what I do is like readings, I do candle magic, I do, what else do I do, Brittany? I do like room sprays, like I do clearing sprays.
Yeah, you're making more products now, and
Yeah, like I do spell work, lots of spell work.
Yeah, lots of.
You're doing a lot.
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a
Yeah.
lot. And then I'm like, am I doing too many things? But like, again, I'm like, I love the channel. I love it all. Like, I mean, I've been waiting to do some of this stuff forever because I'm like, it's not time. And I'm like, it's time. And now I'm like, I don't know. The momentum went. I don't know.
I think that, you know, it's not for everyone. If you don't want to, then don't. And if, you know, one day you decide, I want to try it, then do it. You know? I don't think Spirit wants to do anything that you don't really feel good about. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I still feel really good about it when I do it, right? But it's still the, well, will it be well received? Maybe not here. Maybe. I don't know.
How do you feel your mentorship has been received as you, like, how long, I guess, have you been doing mentorship for? And do you find that you do like, in terms of mentorship, is it a course? Is it like a year-long membership? Like, what is mentorship for you?
No, before I started doing mentorship, I was doing life coaching. So I got a life coach certification. I kind of had my Instagram was really just about positivity and life coaching, that sort of thing. But I always wanted to do spiritual coaching, but I was having trouble coming out as a spiritual person, like not in the, you know, traditional or the Christian way. Especially because what we said before, you know, my family and people knowing, and what do people think about people who practice this sort of thing. And then one day, I just cleared everything from my Instagram, and I decided that I was just going to post whatever I wanted and just be myself. And one day I posted a reel. I don't know if you saw this reel, Brittany. I don't know what brought you to my page, but it was a reel with Matthew McConaughey, and it was kind of just like when you have a spiritual awakening, and I don't know, it went viral, and I started to get a lot of followers, and they want.
It's pinned to the top, right?
Yeah. So that
fairy dust, it doesn't exist.
Sorry, I'm just like watching it right now. Me after my spiritual awakening, trying to explain to people that everything is energy and we are all one. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's excellent, actually. Okay, that's so good.
Yeah, because I kept seeing you in the like, you know, when you go to like the reel section in Instagram, like yours just kept coming up. That's why I kept coming back to your thing. So I don't know if it was in particular one reel over another, but it was just like, because you use a very similar background in a lot of them, that I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I posted that, I just kept posting more, and then I just kept getting, you know, more followers. The videos kept, you know, going viral. And I just, you know, then that's when one day I decided to ask on my stories if anybody would be interested in spiritual mentoring, and a bunch of people said yes. So I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
So I've done readings for people, and I've done mentoring. To answer your question, the mentoring is however long the person thinks that they need it. I don't try to keep people, because I just feel like with spirituality and when you're working with spirit, you know, even, yeah, I just think a lot of coaches or mentors, they want to keep people because they, you know, because of the money, right? But for me, I want to keep people as long as they need me. What, you know, if they feel satisfied after one mentoring session, then that's fine with me. If they feel that they need more, I leave it up to them.
I love that perspective. It's so
That's
nice
so
because then
good.
it doesn't feel like, not that I'm not trying to bash anybody that does any type of mentorship, but
No.
it's nice to have it so open and just flowy, where it's like you're there when you're needed.
It,
Yeah.
It's like that. I'm gonna pull in a movie quote for a hot second, and it's a really cheesy movie quote, but it is from Nanny McPhee, and
Okay.
it's when you don't want me, I'll be here, which is not the case, but like when you need someone, and then when you
Yeah.
need someone that's when, or sorry,
Say
give me
the
a second.
quote, might be easier.
When you need me, I'll be here, but when you want me to, that's my time to go. So like it's different for, I really messed that up. Holy shit.
No,
But
I get it though. Yeah.
it was very much like you're there when you're needed, but when that shifts to being like, well, I want you around, but I don't need you, you're like, well, you're kind of good to
Then
go.
you're
I'm just,
good. Exactly. Yeah.
so
Exactly.
thanks for letting me
Yeah.
have my brain moment.
It's fine. It's all good.
And I always tell them too, you know, if you ever want to ask a question, you can just DM me, right? Like if it's not necessary to have a session and you just have a question, just send me a DM. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so good. Yeah, I think that's
I
great
remember
that
the
you
quote
offer
now.
that. Oh, go
I
ahead.
remember it's much better now. It's when you need me but don't want me, then I'll stay. When you want me but don't need me, then I need to go.
Okay, cool. Oh, Nanny McPhee.
Nanny
So,
McPhee, what
just
the lessons?
wasn't expecting that at all today, but you know what? I'm excited for you. That's great. The stuff. Hey, I literally live in the movie quote like world. That's like my worst trait is like always quoting movies. So I appreciate it. No, I love that you offer like that kind of open-ended kind of session style in terms of mentorship, because I feel like then people commit to showing up for themselves when it's, you know, it's not like, oh, I have to go to use them. It's like, no, I'm here because I want this. I wanted to make another one. Do you know what I mean? It's not out of obligation, it's a choice. I think that's really great. It kind of weeds out the people who aren't serious about it as well, right? Like I think that's part of it.
Yeah. So, you know, some people show up too and they don't want to feel like they're being mentored, but they want to be mentored. And that's really tough.
Yeah.
Right. Because
No kidding.
the way that I, you know, explain things, I just have to do it in a way where we're just chatting and I'm not teaching you something. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm gonna lay it all out here and you're gonna
Yeah.
have an aha moment any moment now.
Take what you need.
Waiting.
Maybe not
Oh,
now, maybe later, but yeah,
Yeah.
I try to meet them where they are. You know, sometimes they come and I just need someone to talk to about this type of thing, because where I live, there's no one around here that really talks about this, or they think I'm crazy and I can't speak freely about it. So yeah.
Where if you don't mind, if this is okay to answer, where has your reach been the farthest? Like, where would you say from where you're located in the US, where do you feel you've been able to connect with to mentorship? Like whether that is in the same country or different countries, like where would be like the most like, I never thought I would be able to mentor somebody in that area.
Yeah, so two people, one person is in Israel and
Wow.
the other person is in the Philippines.
Oh, wow. That's
That is so
phenomenal.
cool.
Also, like, not shocking, but like amazing that there's awakenings kind of literally
Yes,
scattered, like
yes.
in cultures like that as well. Because I like obviously Israel is like, you know, like I believe it's a Muslim country. Am I wrong in saying that? I
I'm
don't
not sure.
actually
I'm not
know.
sure.
But
I'm not
also,
sure.
like, I know that, very different style of belief. Let's just maybe say that. But
Right.
then also with the Philippines, I believe they're very religious in like the Catholic Christian
Mhm.
base. I could be wrong on that as well, but like I don't know what I'm speaking, but it is so lovely to see.
That is so freaking cool that you could reach that far so far.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
there's still so much world out there that you're like, we don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
literally, like
Yeah.
exactly. And it's
No, it's
just the
funny.
beginning.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny. I never thought that when the page started to grow, I for some reason, I don't know why, I thought everyone was from my area. Because you know how on TikTok, you usually attract people from your area or your state.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, for some reason, I was just shocked when they were like, "Oh, I live in the Philippines." I'm like, "What? What time is it over there?"
Exactly. How did that happen?
That's
Oh
why
my
I had like
God.
so many issues with like figuring out time today. I was like,
And like,
you're
where
like,
are
yeah, it's
you?
Eastern
Yeah.
Standard Time. Like, I don't even know what that means.
I'm
I
gonna
have to
Google that.
Google Eastern Standard Time
Yeah.
for where you
EST,
are right now.
literally, I'm like, EST time now. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So, and it's like in like military time. I'm like, hey, it was at 1:30 your time today that I was like figuring. That was what I said like a whole bunch of times. I'm like, where are you? What? Because yeah, it
Yeah.
was 12 o'clock or 12:30 in Saskatoon, and then 1:30 in Eastern Standard Time, and then I was 6:30 my time. Yeah, something like that.
Something
What
like
time?
that, yeah.
I don't even know.
Such a mess. We're just like, we're just
I
happy
don't
it
know.
worked out. Sometimes it
Literally,
doesn't.
I'm like, exactly. Sometimes we have like, actually, we talked a little bit about Emily Dexter, like her of words.
Yeah.
The first time we had her on, we like showed up an hour early. And we're like, I guess she's not coming. So we just like hung out. And then she
Yeah.
joined the meeting an hour later. We're like, oh my God, the like time
Oops.
changed.
We're so embarrassed.
And we never told her that. We're like, hey, we thought you were coming, so this is a surprise.
But yeah, going back to that, you said that you had a really like a fun story connecting yourself to Emily Dexter. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, love to
Yeah.
share.
So during my like the beginning stages of my awakening, I was on TikTok and she was popping up on my feed and she was doing like psychic activations.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I remember around that time, she had one particular video where she said, I'm going to do a psychic activation and then you just say yes. And then I'll do everything on the back end. So I did it. And then that's around the time where I believe that it could have been what she was doing, but I think it was also the energy that I was putting out into the universe by saying, yes, I want to open up. And that's when my spirit guides really started showing up and ringing the ears and coming around, at nighttime. And a funny story I'll share about my spirit guides. I was trying to find a job and I was going to interviews, and there was one particular job that I was like, okay, this is mine. I'm getting it. And I didn't end up getting it. And I was so freaking bummed about it. And I was gonna go sulk in bed and just be sad and upset. And as I'm walking to my bedroom, my fire alarm goes off in the house. Yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't have any sage. I didn't have any
You're
incense.
just like, Bill, can you fuck off? No, I'm just kidding.
Bill, I'm sad.
I know. No, I don't think it was Bill. I think it was like my spirit guide or my angel. And I'm standing there and I'm like with the freaking sheet or towel, whatever, trying to turn it off. I'm like, am I crazy? There's no smoke in here. And I'm like, they're probably just laughing at me because they didn't want me to go to bed and sulk, because they shared with me that I was getting a job soon. And I thought it was that one. So they were like, don't you dare do that, because the job is coming and you know it.
Yeah.
You just need to trust. And I was trying to control, and they were just like, no, you know, don't you dare cry. You better go do, they always tell me, go play. Like, go out, play.
What's
I know.
happening? Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. Does that work for all of us?
Probably. I know sometimes I go like this and a bunch of balloons pop up. I don't know if it's
Oh,
my
that's so
Zoom or
funny. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's
That's right.
like, what,
The
That's like
literal, the
pressed.
still.
I think I was spooked.
I was like, what on earth
that
are
is
we
funny as
doing?
fuck. How do we do that? I don't want to know how to do that.
I don't know.
I have no
Literally.
idea. That was
For all
good.
of our listeners who are not watching the YouTube video, she had just done a thumbs up and a little bubble that you would see on Instagram videos of a
Yeah,
little
just like
thumbs up.
it was like in
that
a thought
popped up.
bubble
Like,
with a yeah.
wait,
It was interesting. It was
Sure,
cool.
cool.
it was
Sorry.
super
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, we totally like in the middle of your story
railroaded
there.
that one.
That's so
No,
funny.
so I was just, I just brought that up to share. Like, they come up and they show up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And they have a sense of humor. They have
Yeah.
a sense of humor, and it's all love, it's all positivity. But you know, going back to Emily, that was around the time where I was kind of introduced to them, and they started being comfortable showing up and like, hey,
Yeah.
we're here. We've always been here. There's
Yeah.
nothing to be afraid of. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Interesting.
love how you guys are connected through that. I wonder, well, Emily, if you're watching this, and and you should be, so we're
You
gonna
should
send
be.
you.
Come on, girl. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I definitely want her to hear that because I'm sure that would fill her cup.
Yeah. If
when
you haven't
that-
told her already, I've got her
Yeah, if
email.
you haven't already connected.
And I'm never better. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I saw
it's-
her on your podcast, I watched on YouTube. I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. I remember her. And I follow her now. And, you know, whenever she pops up on my feed, I always stop and watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you know how you two are connected for this instance. That's how I was with Emily, because like I was on TikTok and I'm like, she keeps popping up, but I was same thing. It was like I'm diving into those videos. They're so good. And I remember I texted Brittany. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna message Emily and I'm gonna see if she's gonna come on the pod. And I'm like,
And
It
then the
was
whole
like-
episode, she didn't talk at all because she was too starstruck. I was like, oh,
well, no,
Really?
the first
Still human.
episode. No, I still feel so bad. I actually told Emily this. I was like, oh my god, the first episode was not trash. It wasn't trash. It was just chaos because my daughter was probably about the age of Harrison is, and so Harrison's like 9 months. Was Maria? Maybe she was a little bit older than that.
yeah, because he's 10 months now.
Yeah. So, anyways, and so she wasn't sleeping. My husband was literally at like the door being like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm on with like my celebrity guest right now. Like, and I'm trying to like focus. And then so I had Maria and I'm like, it was
And
the
then
worst.
my two dogs are jumping at the wall in the background. I was like, oh, that's nice.
It was like the most unprofessional meeting. I mean, not saying that this meeting is pretty professional right now,
No, like,
but
it's
like,
still a shit show, and we're sorry because of this. But here
believe it
it's
or
okay.
not, we've worked out a lot of the kinks that we were going through at that point.
My
Like,
dogs are outside right now, and that's where they stay until the podcast is
exactly.
over.
Yeah. Like there's a reason it's dark outside when I do this because like the rest of this house is quiet. So it's enough chaos. But that's so funny. But yeah, so it is kind of funny that that's like, anyways, I love Emily. She's so fantastic. So I'm glad that you like, I'm so intrigued. I love that that worked for you. I got it. Girl, I think I just need to book something with you. I think I'm like, so what do I do? How come I'm so afraid? What am I afraid of? Why?
Jesse, you've basically been asking her all the types of mentoring
I
questions for
know.
yourself. And it's like,
I know, right?
Yes,
This is
yeah.
a session.
Like, okay, well, yes, take my money.
no, obviously we're already in love with you, and we are definitely gonna be. I'm gonna book a reading for
I think
sure.
that's such
and
a
then
good
Jesse's
idea.
Getting mentorship. So now
Yeah.
you just 2 new customers.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Long time
yeah.
fans, first time callers.
Exactly. Well, ladies, shall we head into our reading here? How are we
Yes, that sounds
feeling?
good. I'm gonna
Perfect.
quickly put the baby to the side so I
Mhm.
can actually pull a card. So,
Mhm.
Jessica, if you'd like to start,
We can.
Moment, I'll
Yeah,
be
you
back.
betcha. So, I am like a diehard fan of Kim Kranz. If you're familiar with her work, she does The Wild Unknown. So she does. I've got actually all of her decks. She does like an alchemy one. She does Wild Unknown. She does the tarot. She's got a few different ones out there. And there's fantastic artwork as well. But so this one is a spirit animal guide. So what? Let's see here. Oh, let's see what needs to come out. Okay. For the collective. Let's see. Ooh, the Scorpion.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't even know. It's funny because whenever I pull, I'm like, not the fucking earthworm, because it's always earthworm.
Yeah,
Because
it's
people are
every
always
fucking time.
like growing and it's good and it's it's a yeah. And I'm like,
And you're like,
"Oh,
I want to see the other cards instead.
exactly. In this card, there's like 50 other cards or 78, I think actually. Okay, so because I don't have this one memorized, just so you know, Abby, I kind of read out the excerpt here. So the
Sorry.
Scorpion stands for passionate, competitive, tends toward isolation. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career, their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers, and they focus on unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. So when we're in balance, we're wild and free and we're fierce. When we're out of balance, we may be jealous, resentful, or unresolved feelings. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. Have I ever been called out by a card before? Yes, and I was just honestly.
I would say every single time we're just like, oh,
Okay, like
oh.
thanks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sometimes
Honesty.
spirit really reads you, and
Isn't
you're
that the truth though?
and you're
Literally.
like, that was mean.
Sometimes
I literally
like,
am
my
like,
feelings are just
there's I know one time Brittany
Yeah.
was pulling cards for me. Actually, I think we were pulling cards for each other. I can't remember what you're doing. And you're like, oh, there's no more cards for me. And you were sitting on a card and it was something like rest or something like that.
because
Or
you're just like, why don't I pull a card for you? And I was like, no, I'm good. And then you're like, why don't you pull a card for yourself? I was like, no, I don't want to. And then I sat up and two cards were underneath, and one of them was rest, and another one was, I forget what the other one was, but it was calling me out on my shit. And I was like,
literally it's like, oh, rest and and we're like, yeah,
yeah,
too
spirit
bad.
doesn't
So sad.
sugarcoat.
No,
No,
no.
get your feelings
Which
hurt. Yeah.
No time.
exactly.
So I'm gonna pull from my favorite deck, my Archangel Power Tarot today. Ooh, oh, I like it. Okay, so we have the Knight of Ariel. Getting a journey here. I'll hold that up again in just a second. I'm just gonna
It's fine.
quickly.
Sorry for people on like YouTube are like, Jessica, that's enough of your face, but it's like,
Jessica.
tell me, show me the card.
Okay.
That's okay. You're good.
So yeah, there is so much to accomplish. You're making a detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. So there's so much to be accomplished. Make a plan that's methodical and sees to every detail. Slow and steady wins the race. You may decide it's time to find a better job. Business matters take precedence over emotional ones in this situation. Angels are watching over you right now, so think big. So that's more of situational. For more of a person to person is a person with great kindness and understanding, someone with your very best interests at heart, loyal, trustworthy, funny, creative, and like-minded. Additional meanings are renewed action, wise investments, being watched over by someone kind.
Yeah. I like it. Can you hold it up again? Sorry, I totally interrupted. Whatever you were gonna say, Abby? Were you saying something?
I was just gonna ask how you should like pick your cards.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, we can show you.
How I pull my cards is when I shuffle. Typically, I wait for one just to jump out on its own, or if I feel super drawn to a card, then I know that one's the one.
Yeah.
So I never know what I'm finding, but it's very much a cold read.
Yeah, Brittany and I like have very different pull styles in that sense, where hers like is a show. I always say that when I do my like readings, like Brittany's is like cars flying everywhere, and I'm like, oh. And mine is like, so I knock on it as you should. If you're not familiar with tarot, is like you knock on it to like push out the old energy, and then we bring in that focus into like what we're trying to read, right? So we chose like the collective for in a couple weeks time, like when people hear this, okay, what do they need to hear? And then so I shuffle and I pull with my left hand and I like say this is the table. I like just I literally feel and I'm like, okay, so I'll take like that card and I'll see if there's a couple more. Usually I have like 2 or 3, but it's like a clean
And you call
process.
mine a show? Get off. Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, but yours, like, you've got flair, and mine's like, nope, I'm just gonna like pick up a card.
It's like I put it on my head and then I separate them, put one on my
Exactly.
shoulder.
Exactly. I'm like, I
But
just
I have to
like,
touch it with my right foot, and then I know exactly which one.
exactly,
Yeah.
like, I was gonna say that card that you pulled was really interesting because it was
Yeah.
like, it was a vision of like a man on a horse, and like the
Yeah.
angel was kind of doing like laying the groundwork is kind of what I was feeling.
Yeah,
And, you know,
I
we
totally
kind of,
agree.
right, and we kind of discussed a little bit about like you had said, like, you know, like trust, like your purpose is already laid out. It's just you have to follow the plan, right? So it's like the team, you know, working for the greater good is building the path for you. It's already laid out. Just trust that they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I can see it also that there's a lot happening in the background that you may not visually see, but lots
Yeah.
happen in the background
Yeah.
is where I'm
Interesting.
going with that. But
Yeah.
how, Abby, when you do card pulls, or if you do card pulls, how do you pull? Like, what
What's
is
your
something
method?
that you feel connected to do?
I let them jump out.
Love it.
Okay.
I let
So
them
is it
jump
like a
out.
I had to
shuffle
ask-
or?
I had to ask my
No,
guys to
I
do it.
just shuffle them like this, and then whatever pops out, I go with that. And sometimes they pop out in a way that I'm like, that was different. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Brittany.
Yeah, sometimes they like just like sometimes they shoot out where I'm just like,
that's what I mean. Yeah, because sometimes I'm sure that you put it back in the deck.
Yeah.
And you do it again.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna do it again.
And I'll end up
Yeah.
I'll end up keep seeing it where I'll like it'll pop out where I'm like that wasn't right, and then it'll be the bottom of the deck
Yeah.
2 other times in the same pull where I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
I
Obviously
know,
that
right?
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where's with
I mean,
mine? I'm like shuffling my tarot and I'm like, that's not for you. That was me because I fumbled. Like, that's
And
not your
that
part.
message
Don't
is
worry.
again for me, not for you.
Mhm.
And that's for me. Yeah, no, that's somebody.
Did
Don't put it
you want to do any pulling today? If you don't want to, or
Or
did you
share
have-
anything?
I have my decks with me.
It's okay. Or if you have anything you want to share, that's okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Fine.
Any message for the collective that they may need to hear when this episode is, and that's the best part about when we do episodes, when we like to bank them, is we don't always know when the episodes are going
Yeah.
to be live.
Yeah.
So
Although
then-
I think this is coming out next week, but like, I don't know.
As long as well
It
next
works
week,
for Abby, it works for us. Next week is like, this is gonna come out. You guys are already listening to it. Lols. But there's my millennial. there's my millennial language for you guys. I like just quoting myself because
because YouTube. Yeah.
because YouTube. Gosh, I'm cringe. I know. Say no more.
I would say, I think that if there's a message that I would like to share, I would say that I think a lot of people expect a sign to be like this big thing, right? And I don't think people realize that signs are happening all the time, right? Like you're on your phone, there are signs there. There are answers to your questions. And, you know, the universe is always answering our questions. It's always responding to our feelings, our thoughts, our all of that. And your guides always hear you. Your angels, they always hear you. Your loved ones always hear you. And if you ask them for a sign, they're going to send it to you, but you have to pay attention. So spending time, just being present in the moment. I think that we miss a lot of signs because we're not paying attention or we're distracted. So spending more time in the moment so you can pick up on those signs when they send them to you.
I love that. I also find that friends of mine, including myself, are like, but can I have like a sign of your sign?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
like,
Yeah.
not that sign. Like I want like a cool one.
Like a cool one.
Like I don't know. Everybody gets pennies. Everybody gets feathers. Like I want I would like money, like bigger bills. Like
Could I have like a nice $50 bill?
Cash.
Cash preferred, yeah.
I don't get pennies or anything like that or feathers. If I say to spirit, send me a sign clairaudiently, they will do it. Or if I say, send me an image, they will do it. Send me a dream, they will do it. What I have with my guides is they send me a crab. So I'll get a video And they send me, they're very creative with it. So the way that they send it is different every time, but I know it's them because I can see the difference. I don't know how to explain it to you, but you can feel it when you see it. I don't know if they're there in the moment that you're receiving it and you get that feeling because they're kind of giving you a nudge. But when you ask for the sign, just make it something, you can make it specific, and then just let it go and wait for it to come. Because then if you're looking for it, you're ruining it. That's why you keep asking for a sign of your sign. You're asking for a sign of your sign because you're thinking everything's a sign now.
You're right. Yeah, you're so
Set
right.
it. Yeah, set it and forget it, literally.
Yes, set it and let it go.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
This has just been amazing. Thank you so much again,
So
Abby. This
good.
has been such a treat. I'm so, like I said, I'm so blessed that you, one, answered your DM. That was awesome. And like, two, that you were able to make time to visit with us.
Of course. Yeah, I love talking about this.
Where can everybody find you, Abby?
Absolutely Abby on Instagram. 2 B's in absolutely and 1 B in Abby. Let me make sure there's nothing else. Okay, yeah, that's it. I'm like, maybe that's it. And if someone follows you, and it looks like me, it's not me. I have to put that up.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like, amazing that you have copycats out there. Like,
oh my gosh,
flattered.
it's scary.
It is scary. Oh my God.
You're wild.
I don't understand people. Like, I think it's an awful thing. Don't get me wrong. But like, it's like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Imitation, not copycat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're trying to scam people. They're asking people for money and they're pretending to be me. That's crazy because I'm like, I don't want people to think that I would actually ask them for money.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll make sure that your correct handle and everything is shared on our social media, and it'll be in our show notes for anybody that's interested. I mean, I really think that there's a lot to learn from you, and I like love this topic out and how like comfortable you are sharing everything about it. It was really great speaking with you today and kind of getting that from both. And I truly mean it. Obviously, I think I need a session. I'm about to be bullied, I think, from my spirit guides, but it's be fine.
Don't worry, we will be in contact to get our own services.
Yeah, exactly. And well, for everybody else, you guys can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Basic Banter for Witches, and you can email us basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. And we'll be doing our readings of the month coming up here. So if you go to our Instagram and our link tree, there is a Google Doc, whatever, you can put in your anonymous questions and we'll do a live reading on those at the end of the month. So tune in for that.
Thank you so much to everybody for listening. We will see you guys next week.
You betcha. Thanks, Abby. Love you, Britt. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.